before he did that one.
And the fans holding up their tens. The local favorite, SPUD WEBB, and this floor, John, is a new floor just for this weekend, and the fellow who put it down was telling me that it has a lot of spring in it, and SPUD WEBB showing you that indeed it does have spring, but he has got springs in his legs. Let's take another look at that move. There's the two-hand plant, two-footed plant, the double clutch, and he takes it home.
Not only does he get up there, but he hangs, Rick. You know, I'm picking up some anticipation here of a 50.
47 for SPUD WEBB on his third and final attempt here in the first round.
And there's some boos. The crowd thought that was a 50.
Now here's Terrence Stansbury. We've got a dunk off. He is tied with Jerome Kersey. And he catches his own pass, double clutches it home. Now that's the move that he missed in his first attempt earlier when he missed 2 times consecutively and had to go conservatively.
What a special move.
And on the dunk off, Kersey tries to go for the 2-ball dunk, comes up a little bit short on the second one, and that means Terrence Stansbury wins the first round dunk off, and he will move into the semifinals. So here are the standings after the first round, and you'll be seeing the semifinals at halftime of the Schick Legends Classic, which is coming up next. Half more exciting than that, and in fact, for that matter, even closer. Right now, before we start the second round of the Slam Dunk Championships, let's go to John Andres with a face that I'm sure you're all familiar with.
Okay, Rick Barry, thank you. I'm joined now by the world's #1 ranked female tennis player and a slam dunk judge. How do you feel about being a judge today, Martina?
Well, I wish I could do one, but I think in my next life I would like to come back as a black basketball player. But it's a lot of fun to watch those guys.
You play a little basketball, don't you?
I play all the time. I play about as much as I play tennis. I like to play in the off weeks when I don't play tournaments to get in shape and, you know, for fun anyway.
Okay, thanks, Martina Navratilova. And back to more pressure for you, and now back to Rick Barry.
All right, thank you very much, John. And a quick reminder of what happened in the first round. The semifinalist, Dominique Wilkins, on a bye. SPUD WEBB, the sentimental favorite here, the local boy, Gerald Wilkins, and Terrence Stansbury, who made it in the dunk-off. And those eliminated Paul Pressey, Hinson, and Terry Tyler, along with Jerome Kersey. So SPUD WEBB getting ready for his first dunk here in the second round.
Oh, my goodness.
John, this young man has been so impressive, and a crowd with a standing ovation. You see the 10s flashing.
That is out of sight.
You know the one thing, John, the creativity of WEBB.
Absolutely, absolutely, Rick. Look at this. It looks like he's taking a shot. Now the timing that ball should bounce just right. He meets it at the height and does a reverse.
A 50 for SPUD WEBB, and a deserved mark for sure. And that puts the heat on the defending champion, who is up next, Dominique Wilkins.
The first of the brother acts. Gerald Wilkins filling in for Orlando Woolridge today. Made it to the semis. So this is Dominique, the reigning champion. Take that, little guy.
Now you see the difference between Dominique, John, and a player like a Tyler or a Hinson is their power dunkers as well. That was a power move, but the creativity. I mean, he's like a piece of artwork in the air.
He's something special. Two-handed power hook slam.
Little windmill action coming up. That was at the kind when you're under the basket playing, John, you say, see you later, Dominique, and clear out. A 46 for Dominique Wilkins, so he's trailing SPUD WEBB.
The crowd wants SPUD WEBB, but they also want Dominique. Rick, I think the crowd is confused. They don't know what they want.
Well, one thing for sure is his brother, Gerald Wilkins, gets ready for his first dunk, is that we'll have 2 players going, and the scores don't really count. Wilkins almost came down on his tailbone, managed to get his hands down, but of course you're allowed to miss. Does not count against him.
Yubi Brown is watching. I'm sure he's happy to see he didn't hit the floor.
That's the last thing that the Knicks need.
This guy's really coming on strong this year, too, and he's excited the Knicks fans with his style.
Well, he's excited the fans here with his dunking.
That miss doesn't go against him. You can have 2 misses before they count.
And to reemphasize, the scoring is by round. It's not cumulative. It does not go on from round to round. So the 2 highest scorers in this second round will move on to our finals. And 3 dunks for each contestant here in the second round. And that's going to be a little costly for Wilkins. He is down to his final opportunity. He cannot afford another miss. And this happened to him in that first round, John, and he had to go very conservative on his last dunk.
Well, this allowing of misses, Rick, is good because it encourages guys to be creative and go for some wild stuff. But as you say, he's now out of chances. He's got to make this.
The bigger problem too is he's used up his legs a lot with those extra tries.
Stayed with it. Nice dunk, but a tough act to follow after.
Well, Spud Webb kind of set the scene, I would say.
He created some pressure.
There we go, a little slow motion. Not quite the style of and the flair of his older brother.
That's one you want when you know you're ahead and you have to put something up that's pretty good.
37 for Gerald. And Terrence Stansbury, of course, we mentioned the surprise of last year's competition on his home floor in Indianapolis. You can see that he's still, of course, you know, carrying that entourage along with him. We talk about the timing, John, about Spud Webb. Yes. You can see what can happen.
Makes you appreciate Webb's move so much more.
And now, I don't want to remind you, John, but you did say that you didn't think Spud had a realistic chance of winning.
Right. I really didn't. I'll stay with it. Thanks, Rick.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
Oh, we got another round to go here. Stansbury, let's see if he goes to his Statue of Liberty. Boy, he gets up, doesn't he? Puts it off the backboard and then meets it at the top of the leaf there.
Again, showing the great versatility and the timing of these terrific athletes. The concentration and the perfect timing.
Look at him hang there. Terrence Stansbury at 6'5", and look, his head is almost up at the rim.
Well, you saw his head was up near the bottom of the backboard. Now, when Julius Erving hit his head on the basket up in Denver, they started thinking about changing the backboard. And so this year, that backboard is 6 inches shorter underneath, just for that reason we just showed you. Had it been 6 inches lower that time, Stansbury would have hit his head on the bottom of the backboard. So for safety factors, the NBA has instilled that shorter backboard, and it's working. I never had that problem.
You were two-handed stuffer, weren't you?
No, I never had that problem, John, believe me.
Spud has a flair for the dramatic, as you can see. He measures the floor, and you know his confidence is really building now, and he feels he can take time.
And the first error on the part of Spud Webb. He has been absolutely awesome here in Dallas, and the crowd. Murmurs here. He has 2 more opportunities. Yes. It seemed to me, John, that he wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do that time. Of course, not being able to palm the ball is a big disadvantage.
He's in good shape, though, now, Rick. I think he can do something sort of conservative, and that appears what he's going to do.
Very conservative.
It's conservative, but it still wins people, and probably the judges, because you're just reminded over and over again that the guy is 5'7".
When you look and you see the bottom of his feet and how far they are off the ground, it is impressive.
Now I wonder, as this thing moves along, if he will show fatigue.
Well, let's watch again. Spud Webb on a rather conservative dunk, but look how far out he took off. That's the one element that should be taken into consideration in the scoring. He still gets 42 points.
Well, he's going to blow away the argument that a lot of people have when they say they're too small to play basketball, isn't he?
And here's our defending champion.
Now, he's got some pressure on him. He's got to get creative all the way.
Okay. I think he must have heard you, John.
I'll tell you, if that's not a 4-9 or a 5-0, I'll be surprised.
Again, the flair, the creativity, and the power. He has all of the elements that you would kind of ask for in a dunker, and he really takes pride in what he does.
Look at this. Over the head.
Double clutch over the head with power, and another angle.
I mean, how does he know where the basket is? He can't see it here.
Look at his head, right up. His head was at rim level.
Great move.
Not only horizontal, but vertical.
Oh, he's unhappy. He's unhappy.
47.
I'm surprised. Judges are tough this year, Rick. I was a judge last year. We were much more lenient. I thought that was a higher number myself.
And Wilkins putting down the mark on the floor that he would like to take off from, which is right at the free throw line, so that he could spot it several steps further out. And so he's going to try the dunk that Julius Erving made famous, which is the full court running one-handing swoop shot, taking off from the free throw line. So let's see if Gerald Wilkins can pull it off. Reminder, he cannot miss. He missed the steps, John. It seemed about 15 feet from the line. He had to regroup himself, and I think that cost him.
He wanted to take off at the foul line too. Gerald Wilkins is really about 6'5", and Julius has a little more height on him. He's a great leaper, but he may have to go in a little bit, not take off from the foul line, but go in about 6 inches.
And see, he was getting ready to dunk again, and they're reminding him of the rules. As we said, he really cannot take another opportunity. He had 2 misses on that round. So he gets the maximum he could score now is a 5 on that.
Yes, he's still on the second round.
Only allowed 2 misses per round, so Gerald Wilkins will not get another opportunity, and that's going to cost him dearly.
And each player gets 3 dunks each on the second round.
So Gerald comes up with the max